My favorites so far, aside from Asta, would have to be Noelle, Magna, Luck, and the boobs lady for obvious reasons. Here we are at the second part of my Black Clover journey. Don't know how many we're going to have in the end, but so far it's just 2. Before we get started, I do want to say thank you for the support on the last video. I really do appreciate it a lot, and I was super happy to hit 10 subscribers, let alone 11. Enough of the sappy shit though, we have an absolutely amazing arc to talk about. In the last video, I stressed that so far Black Clover has just been executing what it wants to really well and not really much else. This time, it does that and more. There's flaws obviously, but overall this is an incredible arc. As per usual, let's start with the big old juicy negatives. Off rip, I'm gonna break my own rule and put something that isn't really a negative into the negative section, but in my defense, I can't just make a meh section. To cut to the chase though, I don't hate the love triangle being set up with Asta, Noelle, and Mimosa. Like most people, I have mixed feelings on love triangles, but I'm willing to save judgment until I see how it goes. As of right now though, it's fine if Tabata does it well. I also had some difficulty keeping up with everyone's names, and some I just forgot altogether, like these 2 girls. That's just a minor negative, so I won't harp on it too much, and it could just come down to my bad memory. Before I start sucking this arc's dick though, I genuinely did not understand the point of having Charmy in this arc at all. She's unneeded, and if you try to argue that she finishes off the witch, I'd counter you by asking why. I don't think she should have finished her off at all. Beating her alone would have been way better. I know he was in no condition to keep fighting, but come on, there had to be like any other way. And I hope this isn't going to be a trend where has good fights with bad endings. And to top it all off, the love interest thing with Charmy is whack as hell. I don't mind Asta's, but I hate this one. It really just boils down to being hot and powerful, whereas for Asta it's more based around how he carries himself and his drive. Positives. I'm gonna try to put these in chronological order because otherwise you'd have me rambling for hours about how much I love this arc. I really liked when Asta and met Julius. It feels surreal to see him talk about their new spells, and when they ask what it takes to be the Wizard King, it felt like a no shit thing that merit leads to being the Wizard King. But because of the hierarchy in this series, I feel like not only the audience but Asta really needed that reminder. This scene also warmed me up on Yuno's power up. It was pretty sick that it's a wind sylph, even though it's a tad convenient that he, a wind user, finds a wind sylph. But that's neither here nor there. I still really liked it. Chapter 23 though was so fucking good. I love the introductions of some of the new characters, and some are even contenders for the Wizard King. It adds some flair to have characters who are technically heroes but also antagonists to our characters and their goals. And I love that the social hierarchy is coming into play with these interactions, and we learn that there's even hierarchy within the guilds. It really makes the world feel lived in when we see how these people already have established relationships, enemies, and biases towards each other, and Asta really shines here. His skirmishes with the dickheads being mean to Noelle was great to read, especially seeing him bitch them into a corner essentially. Like I said, it was hard to keep up with these newer characters, but the obvious 2 that stood out were Leopold and Fungolian. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. Leopold has a sick ass design, and I like that he's one of the few knights that actually recognizes Asta as a competitor and proclaims him as a rival. Those probably mean the same thing, but you get the idea. Fungolian Vermilion was also an amazing character, and I love how he's also a rival now apparently. Everything about him is just really good character writing, and there's more I want to touch on with him, but I'll save that for a little later. I was relieved that Asta didn't beat Raids, but still had some great moments to shine while fighting him. It shows how strong he's gotten while not letting him be too overpowered yet, where he's just defeating main villains left and right. The panel of him defeating that big monster was also fucking perfect, and is probably one of my favorite drawings in the manga so far. It was fucking crazy when the captains and knights were sent away, and I actually had my jaw on the ground when that happened. Up until this point, the arc was good, but still on the level of the dungeon arc, but once this happens, it starts getting insane, and I think from this point on, the arc is nothing but straight flames, aside from Charmy. Fungolian comes to finish the fight, which I actually didn't mind. I thought it was really fitting, and I love him as a character anyway, so it was even better to see him kick some ass. Then we get to chapter 32, where everything just really goes apeshit. Fungolian gets taken away and confronted by a masked figure, and when we see him next, he's near death and missing an arm. That entire sequence was just straight heart pounding. Like, I never expected this level of intensity from Black Clover at all. The fact that Leopold and Asta were able to stop the terrorists from escaping for even that long was crazy, and I love the development Asta is getting. Even I didn't think about throwing the fucking sword. The knights come back just in time to help stop the terrorists, but Asta is captured, and it really sets the tone when even the entire squad isn't enough to stop them. It really portrays their danger really well. I actually forgot about Julius leaving earlier, to be honest, so when he showed up at the hideout, I started shitting it because I thought he was a villain. Turns out he just came to wipe people, so that was pretty cool to see. I just want to say that the scene from earlier that sets up Julius being here was masterful. We see the setup of Julius being missing, but since it's in the middle of Yuno's intense fight, we just happen to forget about it, especially because it doesn't have any important characters in it, and I think that's really great storytelling on Tabata's part. The terrorists escaping again just shows how dangerous they are, because their leader manages to get them out of Julius, the Wizard King's, grasp, except for one. Then the arc starts coming to a close, and Fungolian turns out to not be dead, just in very, very critical condition. in. I'm a little disappointed he's not dead, but I'm a One Piece fan, so I'm used to that sort of thing. This arc had an excellent ending, and I'm glad it was just a fat ass L. I don't know if anyone would disagree with me that the Knights lost, but before you try, I'd remind you that the I-Sons, the name is a little too long for me to say every single time, they came in, got everything they wanted, and escaped. Yeah, 2 of their dudes died and 1 got captured, but they essentially took out a captain, killed a fuck ton of people, and actually managed to escape the Wizard King. In my opinion, the Magic Knights legitimately lost here. This arc was exceptionally good. Like, I really liked it. I liked it a lot more than I ever expected to like anything Black Clover related. And I guess that's on me for downplaying the series, but still, it was great. I love how it sets the tone and stakes for what's to come and also ranges the danger level of the Eye of the Midnight Sun. God, that's a long ass fucking name. I know I've only read 3 so far, and I hope I don't say this every single time I read a new arc, but this is definitely my favorite arc of Black Clover so far. You can comment down below what your thoughts on this arc were, or if you want to know how I felt about something that I couldn't really touch on in this video. That's all I have though. Next Black Clover arc coming next Sunday, and a Cowboy Bebop video coming next week too. See ya. The way that setup scene was done earlier, God man, fuck.